In Wyoming, where the winter air bites sharply and snowdrifts can dwarf a man, the elements are more than a backdrop. They're a character in the lives of those who dwell here. As someone tethered to this rugged landscape by my graveyard shift at a local warehouse, I've learned to respect, even fear, the capricious whims of winter. It was a seemingly typical day when I headed into work. The sky, a dull gray canvas, promised a snowstorm by the wee hours. Nothing unusual for this time of year. I figured I'd be back in the warmth of my home before the first snowflake fell. The warehouse was abuzz, everyone moving double time to get ahead of the storm. Motivated by the thought of an early night, I pushed through my tasks with gusto, knocking off 2 hours early. A small victory, I thought, as I prepared to leave. However, as I stepped outside, a blast of icy wind and a curtain of snow slapped me back to reality. My truck was nearly buried under what looked like a foot of unexpected snowfall. I hurriedly checked my weather app, which confirmed my worst fears. The storm had not only arrived early, but was ramping up with ferocious intensity. With a sinking heart, I cranked up the heater in my truck and set off, the snow rendering the road nearly invisible. The highway was a ghost town, its usual markers hidden beneath a seamless white blanket. I felt a pang of anxiety as the visibility worsened, each mile deeper into the storm, pushing my nerves to their limit. Then, disaster struck. My truck, usually reliable, faltered and became ensnared in a deep snowdrift. Panic took hold as I grabbed my shovel and tried to dig out, but it was a futile effort against the relentless wind, which seemed to mock my attempts, filling in the cleared snow faster than I could remove it. I was well and truly stuck. After calling for a snow removal service and receiving a vague assurance of help, I settled in for a long, cold wait. Hours ticked by, the snow piled higher, and I drifted into an uneasy sleep, only to be jolted awake by a terrifying crash. An enormous, shadowy figure loomed through the blizzard, the snowplow. Its lights were a blurry halo in the swirling snow, and in a split second, the monstrous machine struck my truck with the force of a freight train. The impact was deafening, a cacophony of crunching metal and shattering glass. My world spun wildly, the truck flipping over, and suddenly I was hanging upside down, trapped in a cold, snow-filled coffin. In that moment, terror was palpable, as sharp as the icy air seeping through the shattered windows. I screamed, not sure if I was still dreaming, but the cold snow filling my cabin told me this nightmare was all too real. With adrenaline coursing through my veins, I struggled against the seatbelt, clawed at the heavy snow, and finally managed to escape through a broken window. Emerging from the snow-covered wreck, I stood in the raging blizzard, a mix of relief and awe washing over me. I had faced one of Wyoming's fiercest storms and survived, though not without a newfound respect for the brutal winter and its merciless beauty. This ordeal wasn't just a tale of survival, it was a reminder of our place within the natural world, a humbling encounter with the raw power of the elements. As I tell this story, I can still hear the howl of the wind, a sound that reminds me to never underestimate the force of a Wyoming winter.